Welcome to Moist Nougat. I am the Kid.
And I'm Dan Lee.
And we got a lot to unpack in this episode, so I'm gonna dive right into it. This is our 100th episode.
Yoo-hoo!
Our 100th episode. So this week we're gonna get into all things the podcast. And I know in the past we've done a couple episodes on, when our brains weren't working and we were like, well, let's just talk about the podcast. So, but the first thing I wrote down was the ups and downs.
Okay.
Trying new things.
Mm-hmm.
And, we tried a lot of different things through the course of 100 episodes or 99 episodes.
Yeah.
And I'll get into all those things later on. But we had so many different things that it was like you couldn't really get into any of them because you had to get into the next chunk.
But you just got to throw everything at it, the old adage, and see what sticks.
Yeah. Well, and if anybody's listened to this podcast, which not a whole lot of people have, but and that leads me into like the equipment part of it, which I'm an equipment guy. I like equipment.
Right.
And
right. Sure.
We've talked about all the stuff. The Zoom PodTrack P4 is what we use to record.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's always fun to get new stuff. Then I didn't even look it up. I don't know what episode we started like videoing. But it went from
That's right.
Because I remember when we first set up. I mean the studio. Or garage, or
the garage,
whatever you want to call it, laundry room.
What was your street name again?
Carport.
What was the street name over there?
Over where?
Where you lived in Charlotte?
Amy Drive.
Amy Drive. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, sidetracked you there. For a second,
that's where I started podcasting.
Yeah.
And that's how my garage.
Yeah.
Half of my garage turned into our studio, and it was Trainwreck Studios because those train tracks were close, and you'd always hear them blowing their horn.
They were close. Yeah.
And but yeah, the equipment, the cameras, the lights.
And I was sitting here thinking, I can hear you perfectly clear. I can hear myself in the headphones perfectly clear. And this is a version of a Shure mic that is not like it's. You didn't have to unload the bank account to own it.
It's basically a Shure 58.
It's
but it's the kid's sister. It's the SM48.
It's the 48,
which is about half the price, or even less than half the price now.
And like Shure equipment, it's good. It holds up, and it just, to me, it's like, why? I literally can't hear a difference between us and the latest and the greatest Sennheiser. I mean, it's the voice is clear, and then I gotta get focused on that too.
Yeah. Once you retire from the campground,
that's right.
Then we can spend some time getting you set up. But you got to get a phone first.
Yeah.
And then I did touch on the video. We started shooting video. I forget what episode. It's somewhere back around 50 some. I think. Somewhere in there, maybe a little earlier. And, that's more just for me to learn how to edit video. And, and then I started posting some of it on YouTube. And I wanted to ask you what you like about doing the podcast. What are your favorite things about doing the podcast?
Oh, man. Number one, we get to share this.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's number one. Because we can go through life, and of course, you can certainly share when you and your sister were younger. There's a whole lot to share there because we're a family. But then there comes a time when people start to grow apart, and I hate that.
Yeah, so everybody starts going their own ways because they got their own shit going on.
Yeah, and it's it's going to happen. I mean, that's just how life works. But when we had when this got started, I'll never forget the first time I sat in the garage over there on Amy.
Yeah, when you came and it was Dub and Andy were there, and I think you came and sat in.
I sat in. Yeah,
it was like you were like riding go karts, like with. we used to go do go-karts once in a while, and I guess I'm the same way, because everybody said, oh, you just got this big smile on your face. But you were the same way. Every time I like see you, and you'd be like, and it'd just be this huge smile. That's almost how you were when you did the pot. You really had a good time doing it.
I was having a good time, and I'm brave that way. I can have a good time with no self-confidence at all.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't even remember what we talked about. I didn't even dig that old episode up, the one that you were on there with.
Yeah. And I was thinking, okay, well, I guess I can't really, I don't care how I look, so I don't care how I sound. It's just whatever comes out, comes out.
Yeah, we weren't doing any video back then, so you didn't have to worry about how you looked.
Yeah, that's right.
But no, I think that was the Chronicles of Dub and the Kid. That was what we called that podcast.
Yeah.
That was my first podcast that I did.
Right.
Dub's the one that got me into it.
Yeah. Thank you, Dub. It's great to be able to have fun with it.
Yeah, and that's the thing for me. I like a lot of. I mean, I like having something to do on Saturdays, and like I said, I'm a process guy, so like. When we wrap it up, I'll dump all the video and all the audio onto my computer, and I usually edit the video. What are some of your favorite topics we did on the podcast? And I don't know if you wrote any down or not.
Well, for instance, when we talk drum stuff, that's always a favorite topic of mine. So we talk, whether it was playing music in bands or, the workings of bands. It's all drum related in our minds because that's what we brought to it. So any conversation that leads to music, I'm all in on that.
So watch your chair there.
Oh gosh, yes. And then there's the guy that doesn't know what he's doing. That's me.
It's funny because I'm going to go to my back page here. No, it's not there. It's got to be on the front page. I have it written down right here. The chair hitting the table.
The chair hitting the table.
I do. It's right there.
Warned.
You see?
That's right. I have been warned 100 times. Apparently, that's not enough.
But it's almost become an ongoing joke, though. It's almost just funny at this point. But I'm like, this week, don't do it because my phone's over here and I got this thing. And
that's right.
I'm like, oh, shit. Everything's going to go ass over teacup. I put one of my favorite episodes we did music was the topic. It was episode 39.
Okay.
So that was one of my favorite episodes. We talked, we just got into music and bands we played in and the drums and all that kind of stuff. So
the good thing is you're at the helm of this and you have good focus, whereas I don't. I don't have really good focus.
In. Holy shit! I'm surprised you haven't requested a limo to pick you up and drive you down here on Saturdays.
Yeah, really.
I can hear you.
There she is.
Well, you know what? When the call is coming in on channel 3 and I have the channel 3 volume to 0, but I'm cranking channel 4 going, I can't hear her.
Yeah. Oh, she talks so quietly.
Oh, yeah. I've been practicing that. Hello. Happy 100th episode.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Glad you could
You're
make
very
it.
Welcome.
So
I'm so glad I could be here. Have you guys been doing wild celebrations for your 100th?
Only this one.
Only these. Oh, there you go. That's great.
There wasn't any confetti with it, but just you got to, in your mind, just put it there.
Oh, well, right when I heard that sound, I saw confetti, so it worked pretty well.
The two go hand in hand.
It's so cool to have seen this get all the way to 100 episodes.
Yeah.
And it's been really fun to follow along and listen and be a part of it. Oh, it's been fun listening to the top 5s. It's even, at this point, it's just interesting to see what you guys come up with for the top 5. Because I know after 100 top 5s, you start scratching your head at trying to figure out what's going to be your next top 5.
It does. It gets tough.
My favorite moment is whenever you guys were doing the top 5 drinks. And Danilee said that, I don't remember where it fell in his top 5, but I think it was pretty close to number 1, that one of your top drinks was a milkshake.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure.
And that was great. That was real great. And you know what? I related to that. It resonated with me as soon as you said that. I don't know if it would have come to my mind when I was thinking about my top 5 favorite drinks, but as soon as you said it, I was like, yeah, that's right.
The milkshake. The milkshake. It's just, there should be trophies for milkshakes.
And I also really love the Christmas episodes. Those are always really fun.
Oh yeah.
When you get Grandma on there and you guys start telling all your stories of Christmas pasts and all that stuff. Just, I mean, it's a magical time of year.
Yeah.
And hearing family stories of things that happened before I was around, it's fun to hear.
Yeah, the family episodes are special. They really are.
Oh yeah. I mean, not to be biased, but Does It Suck at the Cabin when we did the Sourheads or whatever the Warheads?
Warheads.
That's what they're called. That was a good one.
Yeah.
And not just because I was in it, but, you know, the family. It's great to have everybody there. I enjoyed the, man, what was it? You guys, it was a recent one. The mac and cheese gummies. I was expecting it to be crazy, and it was just like a sort of like a gummy, right?
I knew that going into it, but I didn't tell Dana Lee.
Yeah.
no, last week. Well, actually, last week.
Mortality.
Literally, that's what. Whenever I was listening to it, you guys were talking about as you get older and more people in your life, you start losing them. And you guys were stumbling around trying to get to the word, and I was just screaming at my car. I was like, "The word is mortality. Say it, mortality!" And I had to text the kid to let him know. I was like, "Mortality. That's the word, right?" I hadn't even finished the episode yet. I just had to get it out to someone.
Yeah, really.
There you go. I think it also, the first time I listened to myself on the podcast was tricky. I just, the first time you ever hear yourself back in a new medium, it can always be a little bit cringy. But now that I've been on a few episodes, I've gotten used to it a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you guys are staples in my driving routine. I drive around a lot these days, and I'm just used to having the car with me.
Oh, yeah. That's good to know.
Yeah. It's fun. I've really enjoyed listening to you all and hearing all the stories. There's so much that I feel like I never would have learned, and stories I never would have heard if it weren't for the podcast.
True. Very true.
Oh, you know what we've got to do? You've got to get Liv, Sarah, and I on. What we're going to do is we're going to do a deep dive back into the episodes, and we're going to take notes on them. And then we're going to sit you guys down and quiz you on the podcast and see what you can and can't remember what you talked about.
Can you make it multiple choice?
Yeah, we could do that.
That might be a little easier for me.
Yeah, I think we'll give you multiple choice. That'll take off some of the pressure. But I think that'd be a fun episode to do.
Well,
see what you guys remember.
Can you and your sisters bring some like edible treats? So if we get something right, we get a treat.
Oh yeah, I think that'd be great. Make a little bit of a psychology study too. See how we can work with some positive reinforcement.
Exactly.
Rats through a maze kind of thing.
Absolutely.
I'll get the voodoo chips.
I respond to treats.
He does. Thank you for calling in.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad that I could get on here. I don't know, it's so cool that you guys made it to 100 episodes, and I'm glad to be a part of it, and it's super cool what you guys have done and recording it all, and it's all down in history, and we'll have it for as long as the internet is being the internet. Yeah, no, it's great. This is really special, and it's been super fun to watch it evolve and get to be a part of it.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Good luck with the top 5, and thanks for having me on.
Well, thank you for calling in. You guys drive safe back home.
Yeah.
Will do. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
Yeah, love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye. It's been fun getting to 100.
Our centennial.
Centennial, yeah.
Shake on that.
The
centennial.
We've got several more to go, so.
Yes.
Anyways, thanks for listening. I am the Kid.
I'm Dana Lee.
We'll catch you next time.